A very good morning to all. So, in the last class in general science, we learned about land and water animals, right? And today we are going to learn about animal homes. So, where do we all live? Where do we human beings live? We live in house, right? And the house protects us from the heat, rain, cold, etc. Even animals need a place to live in, and that is called as shelter. The shelter is very important for animals too. It protects them from the heat, rain, cold, and from other enemies. So now let's see about different animals and their shelter. Coming to the first one, that is rabbit. Do you know where do this rabbit live? Rabbit lives in burrow. And do you know how do these rabbits make their burrow, or how do these rabbits make their home? They build their home by digging into the ground. And you can see the picture here. They build their home by digging into the ground, and it is called as burrow, or you can call rabbit hole. So where do rabbits live? Rabbits live in burrow. Coming to the next one, spider. How many legs do spider have? Spider have 8 legs, and the spider makes web. The next one, bees. So you all know honeybee. Where do we get honey? We get honey from the honeybee. And these bees make beehives. And do you know where they make these beehives? They make these beehives in the tree hole. So bees make beehives. Coming to the next one, cow. Where do cow live? They live in the shed. And how these sheds are made? These sheds are made with wood and sand, and it is made in such a way it is comfortable for these cows to live. So cow lives in shed. Coming to the next one, horse. Where do these horses live? They live in the stable. The building where they live is called as stable. And you can clearly see the pictures. In the stable, it is divided into separate stalls. It is divided into separate stalls where each horse stay. So where do horse live? Horse lives in the stable. Coming to the next one, dog. So where do dogs live? They live in the kennel. So it is a small shed which is built in the shape of a house. And this kennel provides the dog security and protection. So where do the dogs live? Dogs live in the kennel. The next one, the lion. So where do the lion live? They live in the den. Even the lion lives under the shade of the trees. So lion lives in the den. And the next one, what about the birds? Where do birds live? They live in the nest. Have you seen the birds building their nest on the trees? So birds build their nest on trees. So these are some of the animals and their shelter. So shelter is very important for animals. So why do they need a shelter? They need a shelter in order to protect themselves from the heat, rain, cold, and from enemies. And where do animals live? Animals live in the place where they get food and water. This is about the chapter. And we learnt about land and water animals. Then we learnt about animal homes. Now let's move on to the exercise. You can take page number 33 in your textbook, and we'll start with the first exercise. You have 3 questions given with 2 options. So let's start with the first one. Earthworms live in option, the soil, water. Second one, starfish live in water, on land. The third one, frogs live only on land, both on land and in water. So now let's see the answers. The first one, earthworms live in. Where do these earthworms live? They live in the soil. They live in the soil. So the answer is the soil. The second one, starfish. Starfish live in water. So the answer is water. It is an aquatic animal. It lives in water. Coming to the third one. Frogs live. What is the answer? They live on both land and in water. So the answer, both land and in water. Coming to the second exercise, that is, name the following. You have 3 questions given. I'll read out the question and you can answer it. The first one, 2 animals that live in forest. So you can write 2 animals that live in forest. The second one, an animal that lives on trees. And the third one, an animal that lives in water. So now let's see the answer. What is the first question? 2 animals that live in forest. So you can write any examples like tiger, lion, elephant, deer. All these are examples for animals that live in forest. Coming to the second one, an animal that lives on trees. So what example we can give? Monkeys. Monkeys live on trees. The third one, an animal that lives in water. Fish. You can write fish, you can write dolphin, shark. All these are examples for animals that live in water. Moving on to the third exercise. Match the following question. So let's see the first one. In A, it is given the name of animals, and B, it is given the home of animals. So what you have to do is, you have to match the animals with their home. So what about dog? So where do the dogs live? They live in the kennel, a small shed which is made in the shape of a house. What about the second one? Where do the cow live? They live in the shed. What about the horse? Horse live in the stable. Okay, coming to the next exercise. So here you can see pictures, and in this picture you can see different kinds of animals. There are animals which live in water, which live on land, and even which live in both water and land. And what you have to do is, animals which live on trees or which live on plants, you have to write letter T. And animals which live on land, you have to write letter L. And animals which live in water, you have to write the letter W. Okay, now let's start with the first picture. So what is the first picture? It's a picture of a starfish. And where do the starfish live? It lives in the water. So which letter we'll write there? We'll write W. Likewise, see the next one. It is a picture of an ant. Where do the ants live? They live on land. So which letter? It is L. What about the third one? It is butterfly. Butterfly feed on nectar. They live on small plants. So we'll write there T for tree. Then the next one, frog. So where do these frogs live? They live on land as well as in water. So see that box? There are 2 boxes given. One box you can write L for land and W for water. Coming to the next one, it's a picture of a dog. And where do these dogs live? They live on land. So a letter L. The next one, fish. Where do these fish live? They live in water. So which letter? Letter W. Coming to the next one, ducks. So duck, where do these ducks live? They live on land as well as in water. So there are 2 boxes given. So in one box you can write L for land and W for water. The next one, it's a picture of a squirrel. And where do these squirrels live? They live on trees. So we'll write their letter T. Then what about monkey? Where do these monkeys live? They live on trees. So we can write their letter T. Then snake. Where do these snakes live? They live on land. So we can write there which letter? Letter L. L for land. Then that is turtle. Where do these turtles live? They live in water. So we can write in that box W for water. Then hen. Where do these hens live? They live on land. So these are some of the animals which live on land, which live in water, and which live on both land and water. Coming to the next exercise, It is page number 35. And it is an activity for you. What you have to do is you have to find the animal which is hidden among the plant. And you have to color this picture. And one more activity for you. This activity you should do it along with your parents. And you can walk around and you can see many different animals around you. Below that, here you can see pictures of some animals. What you have to do is, you have to observe them and tick the animals which you see. What you have to do? You have to observe these animals and you have to tick the animals which you see. And you can do this along with your parents. The next one, page number 36, is a worksheet. All the questions in this worksheet are based on what we have learned in those chapters. So you can do this as an activity in page number 36 and page number 37. And once you have done this, you can send it to Microsoft Teams in assignment as you have uploaded your answer sheets. So we'll meet in the next class with a new chapter. Till then, thank you.